what's going on with agent commissions and potentially what's going to be coming down the pipeline in the next, few years.
Over the last few weeks, I've had multiple agents call me, text message me, or literally just walk up with their cell phone. Like, hey, have you seen these articles? So there's fear in the industry right now. And then the media is stoking these fires. So essentially what happened is there's been multiple class action lawsuits attacking commission structures. And they're saying a 6% commission structure is a violation of antitrust. And then the Department of Justice, the DOJ, got involved in one of them a couple weeks ago that's happening and said, hey, we want you to pause settling on this because we need to investigate this further. So let's break this down. One, commissions are always negotiable. However, there has been, a number that seems pretty standard. Two, because house prices have inflated greatly during COVID, commissions have become much more of a big deal, because if a price of a house went up 30%, well, that means commissions went up 30%. Four, there's a massive misnomer in regards to how much the average agent makes. The average agent makes about 50 grand a year. That's less than most teachers in our area. However, there are elites, the ninjas, the hustlers, the professionals. They slay it. They make 100, 2, $1 million, and they kill it. That's not the vast majority of the industry, though. So that's what's interesting when you look at these lawsuits that are attacking commissions. The average agent makes 50 grand a year. And so they're literally working for like minimum wage or peanuts. Settlements that have already happened. RE/MAX paid out $55 million. Anywhere Real Estate, which is formerly known as Realogy, paid out $83.5. KW and Home Services of America, they haven't settled yet. So they're like, you know what, we're gonna go fight this. These other two big brokerage firms were like, you know what, let's just give them money and be done with it. I'm kind of in the middle on this one. Let me explain. Like, I think there's some pros and some cons here. So I'm gonna put on my positive hat, and then I'm gonna put on my, I'm slightly against this. So I'm probably 75% for this and like 25% against this.
For what?
The making sure commissions are broken apart, which sounds crazy. And realize, everyone, I own brokerages. I've done this for 20 years. Sometime this year, I will do my 2,800th transaction. So we're almost to 3,000 transactions. But this idea that it has to be the same fee over and over again, and that it has to be equal, and that a seller always has to pay a buyer's agent, doesn't really make sense in my mind. Here's why. I'm an extremely avid real estate investor, and I sell multiple properties every year, and I pay those commissions. And people say, well, why do you pay the commissions? I was like, well, it's the quickest, fastest, cheapest, easiest way to do it. Would I personally like to pay less? 1,000%. Would most consumers like to pay less? Yes. Here's another reason I'm for it. Are there attorneys that may be better at a specific thing than other attorneys?
Yes.
Are there accountants that are better? Are there plumbers that are better? Do each one of those professions have different rates attached to them? Cool. Let's attach different rates, because personally, I'm going to get paid a lot more. Okay? Because maybe as the attorney, the average one bills out at $100 an hour. But there's this crazy professional over here that's the absolute ninja, and they bill out at $1,500. Well, that's me and my people, okay? You don't get to almost 3,000 real estate transactions and not become phenomenal at this. So cool. I don't care what the commission rate is. We'll slay it.
Aren't they trying to get rid of commissions altogether and do kind of a flat rate fee?
No.
So they're going to keep commissions?
What they're doing is they're attacking the seller having to pay a buy-side commission.
Got it.
So the seller may still pay a commission, but they may not offer a buyer commission. So here's the pro. So like according to the National Association of Realtors, and if you think this through logically, first-time home buyers, they can barely afford a house. What if they had to pay for their representation out of pocket? Would that also hurt minorities trying to qualify for their first house? Would that also help landlords to keep more rentals available? Remember, NAR is more about home ownership than renting. Another thing that's very interesting is, would that then decrease the demand on the buy side due to the level of friction that's being created? Because right now for a buyer, it's a frictionless transaction. I do believe that probably at least part of the buy side is going to get uncoupled or reduced, but it's all negotiable anyway. And if you're a good agent, you should be able to demonstrate your value to the client. In the last year, there has been multiple deals I've put together for investors and developers where there was zero commission offered, or we're buying it from like a public entity where they won't even pay one. I still got paid 2.5 to as much as 5.5 on all those transactions when nothing was offered. Interesting. So once again, I love this because it could probably increase the professionalism. See, I think what happens is people get upset by the hobbyist who's not delivering on the value, and they go, well, I didn't get the value out of that. You could just go for sale by owner. You could just pay an attorney. I mean, there are multiple ways to do this. But then I flip it around, I look and I go, where do our best deals come from personally? Do they
people that we know?
Off-market properties.
Oh, right.
So my best deals that I negotiate for myself and my investors have the least amount of representation involved in them. And generally speaking, I take anywhere between 6 to 25% off of the list price, or off of what we consider normal market value. And you go, wait a second, if you're taking like 10, doesn't the commission just pay for itself instantly? 2 seconds it pays for itself. That's what's interesting about these arguments, is they make the arguments and they make them very emotional and very heated. So people look at the dollar and they go, you know what, I don't like that, but I'm for this, because I think you're gonna see the Uberification of the real estate industry. Right now, I can go buy a car and I can drive it around, and that's gonna cost me less than if I just on demand every ride from Uber when I need it. So I'm paying for a convenience and I'm paying for when I only need it. Well, if you look at that and you say, you know what, hey, real estate industry just turns into Uber, you're probably gonna end up paying more for most of the fees if they become decoupled, but you're only gonna have to pay for the ones you need, which for certain buyers and certain sellers and certain investors, I mean, that makes phenomenal sense.
It's just like on Uber, you get different Uber Black, Uber SUV, Uber X, right? You get the option.
You get the option.
And you get what accordingly is gonna correlate to the higher price or lower price.
So you may come up and let's just say you're getting buyer representation and you're an avid investor. You may need base level buyer representation that doesn't include negotiation. It may just include contract writing, opening the door, and attending the inspection, things like that. All the way up to, I'm really rich, I'm buying a $10 million property, I want to never see it, I want you to do everything for me, I want you to get everything inside the house done, ready, get all the contractors lined up, get it fully staged, get everything moved in, and then literally send me the keys.
Can you restate what is happening with commissions, what's coming down the pipeline, what is the timeline for it? So how far ahead should agents be looking for this all to play out in the future?
One, this is the Biden administration using the DOJ as a weapon again to go attack things that may or may not necessarily need to be attacked. And it makes me sad that this is happening this way. But what's funny is I slightly agree with it personally. Like, I'm more towards the agreement. Two, this is more fear mongering than anything else. I believe that yes, a standard commission rate, a 6% commission, but that hasn't existed as that is the de facto. Especially here in the Seattle Metro, you see 2.5s, you see 1s, you see flat fees all the time on both the list side and the buy side. For us, it's really been wild, wild west of whatever you can negotiate. So I think the media is creating more fear around this. So I don't think they need to worry about a timeline. I don't think they need to worry about the industry falling apart. This is more fear than anything else. And then also this is another form of political grandstanding where you've got some class action lawsuit attorneys. They're going to make a big bag of money, because that's what they do. And they're going to make it look like something's happening, and it's not going to benefit the consumer. It's only going to benefit the big guy. It's only going to benefit corporate America, and nothing really is going to change. Yes, it may change slightly, but I don't know that you'll see a huge change. But don't worry about it. Just go increase your skill set. Thanks for watching today. Hit the like button. Make sure you subscribe. Hey, YouTube recommended you watch this video right here.